Welcome to the Dice Tower, a video podcast about board games and the people who play them. This is a special episode of the Dice Tower in which Tom and Melody Vasel talk about their top 100 games. And now, here are your hosts, Tom, Melody, and Holly Vasel.
Welcome to the Dice Tower.
Amen!
All right, we're glad to have you with us today. And if you will watch with us for the next 9 minutes, we are going to show you six more games of our top 100 games that are wonderful, games that are terrific. Stay with us and we'll show you more.
I like this game because you're trying to be last place.
Oh. So if you lose, you win?
Yep.
And it's a horse racing game, which is kind of odd. There's no gambling involved in this one. You're just trying to make your horse come in last place. And you do that by playing these cards in the middle of the board, and if your color is out there an even number of times, nothing happens. But if it's out there an odd number of times, then your horse will move forward the amount of spaces shown on the cards. So in this instance, orange and green aren't going to move, but blue is going to go one space. I'm sorry, green does move. Green will move 3 spaces. Purple, yellow, and blue will move 1 space, but orange doesn't move because it has an even number. So each player gets to play 1 card face down, and no one knows what color horse anyone is, so there's that element of fun. It's a very fast game, although you can add in a bit of an auction phase to see who goes first each round. But for most people, just a simple basic game takes about 15 minutes to play. Whose horse is going to come in last? And I tell you right now, Melody, it's going to be my horse. All right, well, here I have Robo Rally, which I want to say it's on my list for good reasons, and yet I feel like it's the most misunderstood game out there. Because when you get Robo Rally, you get all these boards with all different options. You have 8 different robots, and the game allows you to do so much and so many things. And it's a racing game between robots who move in logical patterns. And yet, for a game having such logic, it feels so chaotic. And that's why I love it. It's the perfect mixture of logic and chaos. And it can handle up to 8 people. But why don't people like it? Because you have all these boards, so you make this awesomely gigantic, huge layout, and you play and you find out that the game takes forever. Folks, take 2 boards, any 2 boards, put them together, make a track that is only the space of 1 board on those 2 boards, make it so that it passes, has 4 checkpoints only, play with a 90-minute time limit, and it is one of the most fun games you will ever play. Fantastic. The robots themselves are neat. I don't even know which pieces are from which set. Avalon Hill is the last one to come out with a set, and sadly, most of their set was kind of chintzy compared to previous sets, but at least it was the same size, so it fits. It's all compatible with one another. There was a set that came out in Germany. There's the old set from Wizards of the Coast many years ago. Richard the Garfield, you did a good job with Magic the Gathering, but this is your best work, Robo Rally.
Because the froggy has sunglasses and it's a memory game.
Right, it's a memory racing game with some really neat components. You're racing your frog, and there's the frog with sunglasses. You're racing your frog around this lily pad track around the outside of the board. And on each turn you're going to roll 2 dice, and those dice are going to show you what color frog you have to check. So Melody rolled a green and yellow, so she has to find the yellow-green frog, so she does. Now the yellow-green frog has 2 eyeballs. One of them's blank and one of them has a color. She wants to make sure she doesn't draw the one with colors on it. So go ahead, draw one, and we'll see. And it has colors, so nothing happens. If she had drawn the blank one, she would have gone forward. Oh, they both have colors. Ah! All right. But anyway, since she drew this one here, which shows the red-green frog, then this frog switches spots with the red-green frog, who also should have 2 eyes. And this will continue until finally one player gets all the way around the track. And there's different variations where you're trying to find different frogs in a row, and whoever has the sunglasses has a bit of an advantage. But it has really neat components, and even little kids can play this one. Do your sisters like it?
Yes. This is Speed Racer Daddy.
Well, not Speed Racer. And when Melody had this game in her top 100 before, I already plonked it on the table. But Pitchcar / Terrebonne is the next game on my list. Now, I used to say Pitchcar Terrebonne, but Terrebonne is out of print, not going to be in print. It's sad that the people who made Pitchcar didn't make their tracks the same size, but they have so many different tracks now. There's expansions where you can have jumps and tunnels and even a two-dimensional layer. But the whole thing comes down to the same point. You put together a track on the table, like a puzzle, and then you take your disc, you put it down, and you flick your disc. Try not to go off the track. Come on, you can do it. Oh, good job. Do it again. Go, Speed Racer. And it's lots of fun. This is one of the few games that you can set up and have 30 people play and not get too bored. And you put people on teams, and usually, you know, we play around 10, 12 people, and it runs very fast. It's heavy to carry around, takes a while to set up, and it certainly is not cheap, especially when you include shipping into the equation. But I'll tell you, this is one of those games that I will not get rid of unless, of course, I leave Korea. I'm not taking this. It's too heavy. But I'll tell you, it is a game that everyone wants to play. Give me a choice between a ping pong table and Pitchcar. I'm taking Pitchcar.
I like this game because you're moving the little girl around the track to get coins.
Right, and it's a really neat little game because what you're doing is you're moving this girl around. Look how huge the board is. And you're moving this little girl who's wooden with a die, rolling her around the track. And if you make her land underneath one of these chutes, what happens? Show what happens. Let's say the girl lands underneath this red chute here. Then you get to put a coin in and drop it down, and your little girl will get to keep that coin. Or you'll drop coins in, and when your girl stops underneath it, she'll get the coins that are above you. Kids love rolling these coins down the chutes. Other than that, and the fact that it has really shiny bags, which the kids like putting their coins into, the game itself is really boring. You just roll and move around. You don't get to do much of anything except just get coins. There's some strategy sometimes where you can pick where you want to put the coins, but I can't really recommend this game. It looks cool, but it's not very fun. Well, tell us why it's fun.
You roll the coins down the slide.
And how can I argue with that? Liberte has fallen down a bit in my top 100, although obviously at this point in time, any game that's in the top 100 I think is a great game. I've just found that it's fallen flat with some people. Liberte simulates the French Revolution with the royal forces and the blue moderates and the red radicals, and you are trying to control, I guess, all three of them at one time, or trying to be in the right place at the right time. You get different points if you have a vote or a majority of the controlling government each turn. You get points if you send people off to fight in the different French wars. But if at any point the radicals control France and you have the majority of radicals, you can win even if you're in last place points-wise. Same thing if the royals ever take control of several major cities and you have a majority of them, you also automatically win. And I think that's fantastic that the game, you could be behind and you still have a chance. It really feels like the French Revolution. It's very chaotic, but it's one of Martin Wallace's best games, in the sense that he ties all this chaos together. I found that some people really can't handle it, but to me, as I'm doing it, I imagine the historical ramifications of what I'm doing, and it just all works together really well. Liberte, another game that's out of print, but I guess it's supposed to be coming back in print at some point in time, but if it does, pick it up. And if it doesn't, then go find it somewhere and pick it up.
And as we close,
Amen.
thanks so much for watching us today. Come back next time. We'll talk about 6 more wonderful games. Until then, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Melody, and I'm Holly.
See you next time.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.